good. We are start bulldozer, my boy. We are running a little bit late, just because some of the settings on YouTube have changed since I streamed. So please give me a shout if you can hear me okay, audio's all good, video's all good, and all that sort of thing. Please let me know if everything's all good. So we've got a ton of stuff to talk about. Just going to wait for Richie, who's going to be bouncing on in a second. What's up, guys? Drop a hello in the comments. That'd be fucking awesome. Thanks for the thumbs up. Appreciate it, Anthony. How are you, dude? I'm on the lemon and ginger. Mondo, what's up, buddy? What's the topic for tonight? We've got a lot to talk about tonight. As you know, me and Richie are going to be branching out into new directions, and I will talk about that. Cheers, James C, dude. You're an absolute star. Appreciate that. Love that. Cheers, buddy. Appreciate it. We've got a lot to talk about. So we've got kit to talk about tonight. We've got obviously some new bits and bobs that have come through that me and myself and Richie have also got in regards of airsoft. Richie's got the overlanding. I'm going to be doing some surfing, and that's going to be where are the subtitles? Shut up, Parky. What's up, dude? Appreciate it, mate. Appreciate it. But yeah, we will be doing a bit of a chat about a ton of different stuff. As I say, we've got some new airsoft stuff. I wanted to do a video about the Purst. Yeah, I've been playing a little bit of COD. Sort of tapered off now because back to work. So work's in full swing, but played a lot of COD over Christmas. Pokerface, what's up, dude? Nice. From Copenhagen. Absolutely beautiful city. Was in Copenhagen last year. Richie's just dialing in now. So give me 2 minutes and then we'll get Richie in. For some reason, he seems to be the wrong way around. But yes, are there subtitles? Brooksy, what's up, my man? But yeah, we've got a lot to talk about. So we will be sort of covering some different stuff in regards of airsoft, overland. People have been asking me about what's going on with the surfing and like why that's being brought to the channel and so forth. Let's get Richie on. Let's see. I don't know if Richie can hear me or see me, but he may need to just sign into the browser again. Let's just take a quick picture and send it to Richie because he's sideways in a minute. Anyway, any questions? Obviously, guys, fire them away. We are also always open to questions, even if we don't. Yes, Terry, made it. Finally got you on a live stream. So happy about it. But yeah, we will answer questions. So me and Richie will be keeping an eye on them. If there's anything that you definitely want to know, I'll pin it. And then we can go from there and we can answer a load of questions. Need to dial down on the old Polish. I'm going blind. Here we go. Right. Richie's here. He made it. Right. Let's get Richie on. How are you,
how do you do? What's happening, mate? Sorry about that. The phone's all right. Do you know what I mean?
I thought you were sitting on the wall, mate. So, James C, this is a question. We'll do the questions as we go, and then we'll cover what the topics that we want to cover.
Yeah.
So the questions is: will overland and surf into an op? That would be an alley arrival.
Never say never, mate. Strange things have happened at sea.
Tom, Fire Mission Blog. What's up, dude? Charlie Gaines, how are you, sir? Thank you so much for the messages of support earlier. I know that Team Trojan have always got our back, so appreciate that. Obviously, there's a lot of fire going off over on IG, is what it is.
Yeah.
Sam, what's up, dude? Hope you're good. You and all the Reaper Crew lads. Gay Fox is here. Sorry, Grey Fox.
It's with an A. It's with an A.
Scambo, what's up, dude? Hope you're good, mate. So yes, so the overlanding, Richie. Let's go into that. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even really know the full story. So let's share it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, you know, obviously we've been into camping outside, outdoors. I'm going to say long before I joined yourself on the Heresy group, mate. Do you know what I mean? So we was doing camping and wild camping as a separate thing to airsoft altogether. It kind of went side by side, as most things do, with milsims and sort of hard routine milsims. So those guys that have done some hard routine milsims, I'm sure you'll have, where there's no buildings, you're working literally out of bashers and bivvies and stuff. So that's really where the camping and outdoors side really come from many years ago. Obviously, I know Scambo's in here, and guys that have been on the scene for a long, long time know that we done Op Wendigo out in Sweden. You know, minus 18 was about as hardcore as you can get for three days of milsim. So that's really where the outdoorsy part comes from. I'm sure a lot of milsim guys in here have done it before, but really, for the amount of years that myself and you know, some other friends like Luke and stuff have been doing the outdoors, wild camping, stuff like this, you're always trying to find a solution. Always trying to find, you know, the burger's too big, too small. There's too much water to carry. It's too much, you know. You can't find the right firewood, or this or that, or there's the grounds. There's no trees. You can't put hammocks. The ground's not flat. You can't have tents. Or, as mine and yourself know, Tim, when we tried to put our tents up, it was flooded. So there's all things like this. So really, ever since owning a Jeep, a great big 4-litre Jeep Cherokee, as Jamaican Dave will know, I had to get rid of it because it just, at the time of my life, it was too expensive to run, mate. It was a 4-litre straight 6 petrol, just tossing £50 notes out the window like this, you know. So ever since then, a couple of years back, I've always wanted another big car, big truck, you know. So obviously last year I treated myself with the view to doing some more outside camping, and then the more I looked into it, the more the overlanding thing was a logical progression, you know. It's kind of really sort of took off in the last sort of 3 months, I'd say. But yeah, excited, man. It's baby steps at the moment, but we're getting there. It's just more of a case of wanting to take that next step, make that next step, and obviously bring everyone on the channel on the long journey with us.
Yeah, and I think for both of us, right, that's something that we wanted to do in regards of actually being able to stop and just on the fly produce more content. Like, that's definitely one for me, right? Because guys are not going to be interested in, you know, just the standard getting ready for airsoft stuff, right? You know, a lot of people are used to it, but in regards of like something like overlanding, or if you're doing, you know, realistically in the grand scheme of what UK surfing looks like this is cold water surfing. So it's, you know, the actual setup from how the rest of the world sees surfing, which is pretty cool, is very different in the UK. Like, the landscape for it's really different, and the prep is really different. So, you know, you're going into, at the moment, 10-degree water, and you're in it for a sustained period of time. So because of that, you know, your body has to react and behave. So things like what you've eaten, what your metabolism's looking like at that time, how much rest you've had, all that sort of thing, like, really impacts how that cold hits you. So there's some really interesting stuff around that for me that's always kind of piqued my interest. Obviously, I used to surf a long time ago, not really gone back to it. So I think for me, it was something in regards of still being able to create content, and it ties in quite nicely with what Richie's doing, with being able to take the vehicles out and just plot up somewhere for an extended period of time. And something that I was keen to do, I guess me and Richie did touch on this earlier today. We had a chat, and you know, the landscape for the type of airsoft that I'm interested in, and that Richie's also interested in as well, is definitely changed in the last probably 2 months, right, Richie?
Yeah,
And so I think because of that, for me, there needs to be something else, like some other outlet or some other avenue, or just something else essentially for me to do to still have a weekend away, still have some time, giving me something to focus on that sits alongside airsoft. And you know, there's a few reasons for that.
yeah. I mean, like Tim was saying, obviously, I think we spoke about this earlier on today, and really, it's a case of as we all know, whether we admit it or have seen it or not, a lot of milsim companies have shut down and gone to the wall in the past 3 to 6 months. Now, for us, in our eyes, Sterling has always been our number one choice. Always has, always will be. Always will be. I know, obviously, Tim and myself, we have had some great times at CAG. But literally, that's it. For us, Sterling has set the bar and always has set the bar. So for the people that are going around saying, "Oh well, it's 2020 looks rubbish for milsims. There's nothing on the scene. There's only Sterling on the scene." Yeah, you're right. But for us, Sterling always has been the go-to milsim company, because not because they're the only one there now, but even before they were the only one there, that was always our go-to, because it really is the nuts and bolts of what you get in a milsim, and it really is like basically the benchmark for us anyway, in our personal opinion. Now, the reason why we're sort of dialing back, I don't want to say dialing back a bit, but we need to find, like Tim says, some other alternatives to get up to the weekends. Now, this isn't because Stern is the only one there. It's just logistically for us, and we've told the guys at Sterling this. For myself and Tim, Catterick, where a lot of the games are hosted, and the Trees in Wales, it's logistically the opposite end of the UK. Do you know what I mean? For us, it really is. So, and yes, we do love a dirty skirmish. We love to get in amongst it and rattle some rentals. Of course we do. But, we can't, we're not going to do it every weekend or every other weekend. So I think for myself and Tim, we really want to dial in and focus on some specific events with Sterling this year. Really sort of handpick the ones that we want to go to, in the fact that, right, okay, we can only really afford to, or get the time to afford the time to travel to Catterick or the Trees or Spain, wherever, for say 3-4 events a year. So let's focus hard on those, and then let's focus elsewhere on other avenues within the channel, or what we want to do on a weekend, which again I think fits nicely in with the scene, of what we want to do, like Tim says, with his surfing, with the trucks, with my Overland project. It's all stuff that can still incorporate stuff into the channel, whether that be custom building stuff, packing bags. Like I say, we've got some real nice Helican, what are they, Tim? I think they're like cargo storage stacks, stuff stacks, aren't they?
Yeah, they're like Helican stuff sacks, but
Yeah.
they've just been really handy for sort of me and Richie both running the big pellies now. Like I remember you saying to me, like, compartmentalising these out so that you've got some stuff sacks that you can just go to, grab, and then dump straight in a backpack if needed. I can't actually remember what they're called off the top of my head, but they're essentially Helican Tech stuff sacks. We got them in a variety of different colours. We got a big package from them just before Christmas. For them, just to say thanks for the work that we've done for them throughout the year, really, in promoting some of their kit.
Yeah, but do you think that it's fair to say that, I think you're not going to get guys going to milsims every single month. You're not going to go every single month. You're going to, especially with, I mean, if you're up north, if you live up north near Catterick, I guess, you might hit Catterick every single month.
Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, I've been through that route myself, running with the Sterling lot back in the day, and doing, playing it, shadow ops every month, regardless, and then also doing every milsim or training, right, that they used to host. So that was like one a month. And through that period of time, it's really exciting because the sites were very diverse. There was lots of different places to play. And also the regular on the books through that year, which I think was 2015 or 2016, was the Trees. it was throughout the year, maybe 4, 5, maybe even 6 times. And I loved that site, and my kit that I had, although it wasn't great, really suited that site well. So
Yeah.
for me, it didn't feel so bad when I was doing, like, you know, Catterick twice a year, maybe. Cope Hill was that year, Stanton was that year, and then the rest was pretty much the trees, where you had the trees in the winter, one in the summer, then the 3-day of Red Wings, and then you had one in like December or something like that, November, December. So and you know, sporadically throughout the rest of the year was, you know, other sites in the UK. So I think in that case you could, but it's so much rarer now that you don't see people really playing a milsim every month.
Yeah.
And with Legion going up the wall, with BritTac going up the wall, I think with the fucking shit show that Combat Airsoft put on, you know, you're not going to get that milsim crowd running towards them anytime soon.
No.
So, you know, there is Sterling. There always only really has been Sterling. It would be great if that diverse mix of companies that were providing milsims was there, but it isn't, and it hasn't really ever has been stood up well enough. You know, people refer back to CAG, and me and you have said this a lot, right? A lot of guys that didn't even fucking go to CAG refer back to their glory days. They done 2 events. That was it.
Yeah.
They done Otterburn and Stanter. Nothing
And
else.
I think you've hit the nail on the head, mate. A lot of guys, you know, refer to, oh yeah, the good old days of milsim. You know, back when CAG, blah blah, whatever. Like, if you mention to them about, like, all right, so what did you do with CAG? Oh no, well, I never actually went. What about tier 1? Did you go to a tier 1 event? Tier who? Like, you know, half these people haven't really been around the block. Do you know what I mean? They haven't put the time in, haven't done Spain, haven't done Sweden, you know, haven't like done Otterburn, haven't done Stanta, you know, but yet they still feel they have an opinion in the milsim scene. Your opinion means shit, mate. It means nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it does annoy me when these people pipe up about how the milsim scene used to be when you really wasn't even part of it, you know.
Yeah, I missed tier 1, and sadly, I know there's history, and I don't want to, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to dive into that, but from what I heard, and from speaking to you and speaking to a few other people that had done and attended tier 1 and what they're about and kind of the ethic, and obviously meeting you at the Modern Warfare event before I knew you,
yes,
and like doing that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you know, all those sorts of things. Like, for me, they seem like a company that could make an incredible comeback. You know, if that would happen, because the type of things that they were doing. I know there's a new company now, the simulations company. I forgot what it's called. Something simulations. I'm keen to see what they do. Right, if it's like Blackline Simulations from Canada, those guys do some incredible shit. Would it pique my interest? Would I be like diving straight into new events? 100%. But looking throughout this year and what I'm capable of going to do and the costings, it's a very hard balance at the moment to weigh up doing Catterick, for example. I'm very interested in doing the trees. I'll definitely be back we will be back at the trees at some point this year. I probably will do one Catterick because of the sparseness of the events that are available. But is the burning need there to get out and do all these new events and go to places? It's sadly no. There is other priorities, right?
And I think we've also touched on the fact of cost-wise, because we've been bitten and we've been burnt in the past before, where, you know, we've both spent £100 on an event, 150 pound on fuel. You know, so that's 250. You then got food for the event, food to and from the event.
Couple of £100 quid in tag rounds.
Yeah, yeah. Plus maybe, yeah, you know, £100. So it could be a £300-400 event. Like, I know everyone's saying, oh, it would never cost that much money. Maybe not if you've already got pyro, if you've already got BBs, if you've got this, you got that, that's fine. But at some point, you're going to have to buy them. So we've been to events where we've paid a lot of money, like combat airsoft games, you know, that shit show at Stand Up. We spent a lot of money getting pyro in, getting kit in specifically for that event. You know, we even, the guys over at Psionics even shipped us the Aurora Sport, like uber quick post, just so we could get there in time. And it was an absolute shower of shit. It really was. So when you weigh up the costings of a £300-400 event that could potentially be a steaming pile of dog shite, you know, and then you weigh up the costings that you've already put in your vehicle, like either for Tim with his surfboard and his wetsuit, etc. You know, that £300-400 outlay, that's that once. You know, for me with my roof tent, I know it's like 900 odd pounds, or between £700 and £900, depending what you want. But that outlay is initial. Once you've done it, you know. And then literally is a case of just getting in the car, going, putting the tent up, or like Tim, putting up in the car, taking the surfboard off. You know, your outlays are initial. Once you've done it, you know.
Yeah, I think that was a kind of big appeal. So, you know, I know a lot of people have been asking me and said, you know, how, you know, are you still interested in this, or are you still going to do it? I'm like, yeah, 100%. You know, and like Richie's mentioned, you know, we can cut over this fairly quick, right? You know, we're still going to go out and do the odd event, turn up, body, stack with a few other guys, the GGC gang. You know, we're going to turn up and tear, right? That's going to have its own legs. That's going to do its own thing, right? And that's kind of under the airsoft bandwagon. We're still going to, you know, review stuff for a few companies. We're gonna bring it right back for sure. Where, you know, my opinion is that camo will always have a special place on this channel. Always. So anything they get in, when the Mark 46s come in and they start getting tricked up and parts start getting made for them, you know, we'll be you know, running them out and talking about them. As new stuff comes out throughout the year for the NGRS platform, you know, we'll still both be doing stuff with that. It just means that we'll have an opportunity to branch out into other areas of content. Like Richie said, you know, I was looking at the outlay for what is going to need to get sort of up and running with surfing, and including decking out the back of the wagon, the board, a winter wetsuit, and some other goodies. I'm probably going to be in for about maybe say £500-600. If that. By the time I've gone and bought everything that I'm probably going to need throughout the year, I'm probably going to spend £1,000. But it literally means that without camping fees or whatever I choose to do in regards of staying places, and depending on how that works out, I'm literally in for that money, and it's just turning up for where the waves are, whether that's in the UK, you know, and events for surfing abroad is super cheap. So in Portugal, there's a surf school there, and it's, you know, pretty much like a surf shack. It's 163 quid for 7 days.
Wow.
And the flight's at 80 quid. So, you know, you're in for, say, an extra 200 quid on food, maybe less, maybe more, I don't know. If you said 3, right, you're in for 500 odd quid, you know, 500-600 quid for a week in Portugal, surfing every day on the beach. It's, you know, and I have hands down spent that money going to Catterick. You know, 500 odd quid.
Yeah, easy.
So, you know, and that's without the outlay for kit, right? So, I don't know. It's interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing the landscape change throughout the year. I think people that are out there, I mean, for me, something does make sense, right? You've got companies like Dave's, what's his face? Dave's, I can't even think of his fucking name.
Dave.
The guy who does Tokyo Maruis. But he's just built this massive warehouse. He's bought all this fucking stock. You know, I would have taken that 60 grand and gone and secured myself a site.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, set an airsoft business up, whether it's a Sunday, whether it's a weekend or whatever, right? Got all the guys there using your guns, wait for them to go down, pick up the repair fees, you know, show off the latest builds. Like, rather than building a big warehouse, that's what I would have done, right? I'd at least a bit of land and see the return on income. But I think that there will be people out there with the deep pockets that will set businesses up this year, whether they are set up to fail, whether it's old companies like Defiant that come out the ground. I think there has to be people out there with enough business acumen to realise that there is a massive void, that's the right word, in the market for either really good events on a Sunday or really good events over a weekend.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, like you were saying about regarding content for the channel, you know, we're not going to stop the airsoft stuff, and there will still be a ton of that, especially from camo. Like Tim says, you know, when the Mark 46, you know, there's going to be some upgrade parts of that coming at some point soon. Obviously, through camo raids, you know, they will be the first guys to have those sort of upgrades, I'm sure. But like Tim says, we just want to not dial it back, but make sure that we've, you know, we're very focused on our kit and what we review and what we put our names behind, because, you know, most of this overland build has been bought out of my own pocket. You know, I've not been sent a single thing, and I've bought it because I like it. I think it's going to work. Obviously, none of it's actually tried and tested yet, but, you know, none of this is handouts. None of this is you know, is paid promotion.
Yeah.
So yeah,
we will get there, right? At some point, it'd be nice to be getting sent stuff, right? And I mean, you know, to say that that's not the direction that I'd like to go in with the surf stuff is a lie, right? You know, if someone's going to pay for me to fly out to a surf school, to hang out there, vlog it, show what the experience is like, and go surf for a week and get paid for it, look, guys, there's pull no fucking wool over anyone's eyes, right? You're going to take it the same as in regards of Richie. They do overlanding weekends, they do 4x4 training, they do 4x4 excursions, all that sort of stuff. If someone's going to turn around to you and be like, rock up for the weekend, we've got you, you know, do you film me, and we'll make time for you to tell people what this experience is like, which is exactly what you go to YouTube for these days. I would, from my perspective, it might be different from Richard's, but, you know, I would take that. I would. That's my view on what we've created, and where the power from it comes is that if someone was to then see that on here and think, do you know what, I'd love to give that a go, and they get a positive rapport from what I put out in regards to the media, and they provide a good service and all that sort of stuff, then you know, to say that I would turn that down is crazy. But, you know,
definitely.
I'm not going to stop the airsoft. We're just going to show some other interest. We were talking about this earlier also, the style of filming, right, has to be so clinical with a review. And you have to film your day or your weekend in a very specific style for it to work. And so because of that, I think for me and Richie, we were talking about being a lot more free with our content, because it's something away from a style, and you know, we've built a rapport with companies with having a very professional approach to things. It's why there's been a lot of companies that have been very persistent with trying to get me and Richie to work with them, because they like our approach to things. With the fact that it's our own hobby, it's already paid for, me and Richie have already got the basis for our own hobbies, we can go and do what we want with the media in the way that we create it. And for me, that's really exciting. Like, for me, that's really probably the most exciting part.
And I think, obviously, like Tim says, if you know, if like I say, like a surf company was to approach Tim, or, you know, an overlanding company, 4x4 weekend, or equipment retailer was to approach me, I'd be, you know, 1,000%. But we will always stick to our morals in the fact that we will never peddle a product that we don't believe in, or don't think is up to the job. We will either give it, if it's good, we'll give it a good review. If it's terrible, we just say no, thank you, and just choose not to review it, you know. But yeah, I think we're definitely, in our approach, we've always been quite professional, and obviously, like Tim says, we've had a number of companies approach us, which obviously I'm super stoked to obviously announce. Obviously, we are working with Lions Gear Solution now. I think now's as good a time as any to announce it. So for those of you guys that are running Psionics or thinking of running Psionics, or those guys that don't know, if you've been living under a rock, Lions Gear Solutions do a absolute plethora of helmet mounts, mounting solutions for singles, swing up duals, for the Psionics digital night vision unit. So yeah, super stoked to be working with them. You know, it's not all doom and gloom and telling companies that we don't want to work with them, but just some have we've wanted to work behind the scenes for a long time. You know, like this has been going on for what, 6 months, to try and
6 months probably.
make sure that it works for both parties. You know, it's not all take. We're not just here to take free stuff.
Yeah, I think that again, mate, is for us another key thing. Like, we've been very open about why we want to work with companies and why we don't want to work with others. Sometimes that's just because it's watered down. Like, you know, we're not going to work with a company directly that's working with another sort of reviewer on our, you know, within our space. And we've been quite clear with businesses. We've never said, oh, you know, yeah, we just don't have the time. We always tell people really straight, you know, it's because of this reason, or we feel like this is going to clash, or we feel like we sit too close in the same ecosystem or the same space as other people. So I think there's going to be a lot that will come out of this year. I know there's loads of new products coming. I think there'll be new guns coming. There'll be loads of exciting shit, right? But there will be a split for my focus 100% this year. And some of that will be around airsoft, and some of that, you know, will be around just getting out, using my foot, you know, the pickup, getting out with Richie, you know, heading out into the wilderness, trying out some of the stuff from DD. You know, they were really cool, hooked us up for a load of stuff last year. So, you know, I want to get out and use some of the DD stuff for sure, and get out and then, you know, do this overlanding adventure with Richie as well, seeing how that pans out. And then also, you know, traveling with work, I'm going to try and tie the surfing in with that. So anywhere that I get to travel, I'm going to get some time surfing and bring you guys along. And then also, you know, getting out in the UK as well to a few surf events. So yeah, it should be good fun.
Yeah, I think like you say, it's going to be obviously focused a lot on the companies we work with professionally, but I think it will also be really nice to get out and have this different side where you, like Tim, with your surfing, and my overlanding stuff, we can just take, because it's not technically working with companies, it's all off our own back. We can afford to be a bit sort of different and a little bit edgy with how, like you said, mate, with how we film this, and it'd be good just to like have a bit more fun with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because sometimes, definitely, yes, Dave, it can feel a little bit
Mr. Manning?
laborious in regards of the way that you shoot content and you cut it together, and it's very clean and very bright and whatever, and there's a certain image that works really well with airsoft stuff that you probably wouldn't see with something that's very nature focused, like 4x4 focused, and the same with surfing. Like, they all have their own little vibe, and that's exciting, right? Because it means you get to play in those different areas as well, creatively, and also with the edit and the tone and the music and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, for me, it just opens up a new avenue for creating content. You know, no doubt we will get more products. You know, me and Richie love keeping our eye on what's hot in the airsoft scene in regards of, you know, things that really appeal to us. You know, stuff in the shooting community, shot shows happening or has just happened in the US. I can't remember. I think it's this weekend or next. So, you know, no doubt new products are going to come from that. Stuff will start filtering through to the airsoft scene. You know, I'll definitely be keeping a finger on that pulse, but definitely not as immersed as I was last year.
Yeah, definitely. I think we had some good events last year, and some bad, but for the most part, you know, it was a lot of fun. And I know unfortunately Tim missed out on it, but that last tear up we had at Tack House Spartan, mate, just after Christmas, I think it was. That was good, mate. It was good to sort of get, because after not playing for what felt like an eternity, to get back into it, it's just like riding a bike, mate. You know, you don't forget your drills, you don't forget find your corners, you don't forget your mag positions. Everything's very, very fluid, very natural. It felt good. It's also good to blow out the cobweb as well. So yeah, definitely anyone that, you know, we've not lost the love. You know, we're definitely still super keen to get back into it this year. I know me and Tim are in talks about getting the wheels turning on certain events this year, just tying down dates and etc. So yeah, definitely it is not we're not binning it off at all. Like I've said in my ear, if you put the video on YouTube, we're not binning it off. It's just a sideline, bit of a side focus.
Yeah, I just want to say, mate, we've got people in the chat room tonight from all over the place. So we've got Rivers from New Zealand.
Wow.
Saw some guys in here from the Ukraine. We've got. I'm going to go back. I'm just scrolling through the comments. We've literally got people in here from all over the world. It's absolutely amazing. So, guys, really appreciate it if you're tuning in, and it's not your kind of natural time zone to be tuned in, but really appreciate it. You coming hanging out with us, guys. If you do any questions or anything you do want to ask, obviously fire it into the comments box, and we will make sure that the questions get answered. We've tried to do something this year with a bit more of a flatter, more kind of agnostic branding. Probably, guys, you saw that. The gold logo on the black background. We wanted to do something that allows the channel to be a little bit more diverse. YouTube can be a bit of a fickle penny at times when it comes to gun content. Times something will go through and be monetized, no problem. And then other things that are really odd won't be. One of our night vision videos got completely demonetized, along with about 70% of the channel when all the firearm stuff went off. Magazine pouches, the ESS tack pouches, anything to do with ESS tack got instantly demonetized. And then there's other things that haven't been, slings and I done a video on the PEC video. One of the PEC videos on the channel is demonetized, the other one's monetized. It's super odd, but for the views and the traction that we do get on the videos and the video watch length and all that sort of thing, we pull in very poor revenue numbers. Yet Richie's video on overlanding has been huge because it's such a popular form factor online, and for people to go on YouTube for, the ad revenue from it's really good because it's appealing to a different market. It's so strange.
And like you say, mate, because it's not firearms related, it's not getting shut down. It is getting increasingly harder with the way YouTube is analysing its content. So I think what did I put up the other day? I think it was my Psionics PEC zeroing video, and again, mate, it just wouldn't let me monetize it at all because there was mentions of a gun in it, and it's just it's just so much hard work.
Evening, boys. What's up, Dave? How are you, mate? How are you, dude? Always tune into our videos. Really appreciate it. Made a huge order from Camera Rage based off your experience. Can't wait to get it in my hands. Patrick, you won't be disappointed. Me and Richie have spent a lot of time with the camo guys over the last couple of months. We're looking to do a kind of New Year's catch up with those guys and plan out this year and some things that we want to do with them this year. But super hyped with those guys. I mean, they are working like you wouldn't believe. They're spending a lot of time in the premises itself, grinding and really making sure that some spectacular builds are going out. And guys, honestly, I've seen the effort that goes into the guns. It is unreal. It is really unreal. So we give those guys a lot of props. And personally, I genuinely think it's deserved. They put a lot of work into the guns that are there.
Definitely, and I think the thing that's overlooked as well, mate, or it's not realised by a lot of people, is Camera Rage were the guys that are putting the effort in and doing the R&D into what works in a build, what doesn't work in a build. Should we polish our gearbox? Should we not? Those guys were the first ones to do it. Now everyone's doing it. It's about these innovators, mate. That innovate new techniques, new products, new ways of doing stuff. If you do something good, someone's going to copy you. It's just the lie of the land. Unfortunately, mate, it is what it is, But like I say, those that don't know, Camera Raids, the NGRS experts and have been for a long time. A lot of stuff that they've grounded and innovated on is being copied by a lot of other NGRS techs nowadays.
Yeah, I think, do you know what? I don't think it surprised me, and at the same time it kind of made sense, but only after it surprised me, is that there's a lot of airsoft guys that are into their wild camping, and a lot of the guys that, especially in the weather conditions that we have in the UK, are into overlanding. And so there's a lot of questions and comments coming up in the feed at the minute, Richie, around the overlanding and how it's going to work and what you're going to cover and those sorts of things.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't know how to pronounce that, Dave, and I don't want to try because you're going to insult me. I know that you've got one, and I've been in it, but Pinsgauer, is that
Pinsgauer,
right?
yeah.
That means I'm not going to get my ear flicked next time I see Dave.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was cool, right? You know, you just said to me, look, should I put it on the channel? What do you think? I was like, let's go for it. And the uptake from it's been incredible. And I think when they start seeing the way that you're going to start piecing this together, and I'm excited. I'm looking forward to seeing the content too. And, you know, I think that says something for someone that spends a lot of time, you know, discussing and talking about YouTube content. I think for this, you've got full creative freedom, right? And it's
it's super cool to have that sort of freedom to go, right, let's do something completely different, you know. But what I think, or I'm hoping people will enjoy, is because people have seen me and you wild camping, they've seen me wild camping, you know. Like we said on the videos many times before, if you don't have a jet boiler at a milsim, probably just take yourself home. But I'm super excited to show the difference in levels, excuse me, from what people would do at milsim or wild camp with boiling the bag food and like a jet boil and I say like a hammock or like a basher and a ground mat, to the difference in levels of how this overland is going to be. So I'd be interested to see people's reactions and how they feel about the difference in comfort level.
Yeah, me too. And I think, you know, it works quite nicely. The surf one's probably a little bit more off key for a lot of people, but you know, at the end of the day, we haven't done this to try and do something that fits the audience. We've done something that we're really interested in. I've been itching to pick something else up without a huge investment and that's very lenient with time. You know, looking at downhilling, I'm looking at some other bits and bobs, climbing, all these things. All of them from where I'm located in the country require huge investment in time. And surfing is probably one of the minimal, but also with the traveling, there's a few companies now in regards of traveling all over the world where you can hire boards from other surfers rather than from shops. So literally anywhere you go, people just register their boards online for hire and they're covered by the business and everything. So you just pay a monthly subscription, and anywhere you are in the world, you can literally just, you know, pretty much like, you know, like a food finding app, just tell you what boards are in your area and you can go grab the board you like and surf for a few days and then give it back. It's really cool. So things like that for me are just going to make it easier with the amount of traveling I'm looking to do this year. There's a lot of questions now beginning to come in. So just Richie, if you want to go through some of these. Jamie's comment is good. We will get to that at some point, Jamie. Dan 22, you guys heard any news on the Torque Precision time grenade, the SFDD?
From what I've heard, it's just the ones we've seen, or the one we've seen, is there's only one, and it's a prototype, and it's not even sure that it's going to work yet. So the whole workings, the internal mechanisms are not even finalized. So I think if there is one, it's a long way off, in my opinion. I could be wrong.
Yeah. And I'm on that again. I'm with Richie. We spoke to the guy who's creating these, obviously the lead engineer and designer for the company. He's someone that I go back with a long period of time, and we were chatting about it, and it was a proof of concept. They'd done a mock-up one with the laser engraving so that they had some imagery to build out the website, and that was pretty much it. The actual mechanics, as Richie said, aren't defined yet. Saying that, I haven't spoke to the guy probably in about 3 or 4 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. So we can see, but I personally don't know anything about it. I know they've done one for the imagery, but that was it. Mike's in here from Legion. Mike, I'd love to know what happened and what the call was about. If that's something you'd like to rather talk to me about another time, no drama, give me a bell. But I'm really keen to kind of find out what happened with that, because I didn't see that coming at all. Rageophile, he asked a question a bit further up actually. So with the overlanding, are you going to be doing more wild camping, Richie, or what's your plan there with the overlanding? Will it include it? or will you do separate, like wild camping separately, where you just go out on your foot, or?
So again, it's all sort of up in the air at the moment because it's all still new to me. So ideally, I want to be in the sort of inclement months, so sort of spring and autumn. Um, Obviously summer as well, but spring and autumn mainly is going to be focused on the overlanding. Obviously, because the conditions are a bit more challenging for driving on some of the lanes and stuff. To try and include that, it also makes it easier. Should I say so? In those sort of months, it's a bit harder to to find a dry campsite with good wood, good firewood, etc. So yeah, want to try and mix and match if we can. In the summer, it'd be awesome to get the hammocks out. But again, depends where you go. If you're out in the summer in the hammocks, you're likely to get bitten alive by midges and stuff. So yeah, it'd be nice to mix it up.
Go through some of these other questions. Outdoor stuff, serving, overlanding, wild camping can only be a good thing. I'm glad you agree, dude. Appreciate it. My doctor is in the house. Tim, you thinking of trying out the wave in Bristol? Yes, Chris. I'm going to head over to the wave at some point. I've actually got a few friends that live like 5 minutes away from the wave, and he's got a design studio in Bristol. So I'm going to tie it in with a trip going out there. My board's probably going to be a bit big for the wave, but I might get something a bit smaller just to take there, or see if I can borrow one for the day. But yeah, I will. I will be heading over to Bristol to the wave for the day or for the weekend. I know they do like a weekend pass thing, so I might even try that. Tim, hello guys. So long as they bring it in market quicker than the Mass G, they can't go wrong. What call? Oh, Mike, I was just saying, if it's easier to give me a bell, I just wanted to know what happened with Legion. What the thoughts were, how it wrapped up, what happened with Longmore and so on and so forth. I'm just keen to sort of see what happened there, because obviously the next company that jumped into those boots at Longmore, it went clap real quick.
Yeah, didn't last long, did it?
No. Not considering the amount that me and you were getting poked about. Oh, you've got to do brick tack, they've got this, they're doing all this cool shit, and then the next thing you know, whoop.
Yeah, pulled, mate, pulled.
So question then for you, Richie. If someone paid you for an airsoft trip in Europe, which one would you go to?
I don't know, mate. I don't really know of many air providers in Europe. What's that? Birgit? Not for me. I've heard not bad reviews, but people just saying that it's not really doesn't live up to expectations. So that's off the cards. I don't know, mate. I'd give anything to go. Obviously, sort of Fibua. I know some really cool Fibua sites, or some some nice, not Fibua. Well, yeah, sort of CQB sites in Europe through different towns and big buildings. If someone had one of those, that'd be cool.
That Spanish one that Kicking Mustang did, that massive Spanish town that's abandoned, that looks cool. I'd like to go and hang out with Jamie down in Italy.
Yeah.
If we're going to go anywhere, a bit of vino and some olives, mate, I'm all about that. So we could potentially bounce down there. So that'd be good. I mean, we're both very, very keen on heading into Europe. Being personally very honest, my big concerns is taking all my toys. Don't like going anywhere without all my toys. So because of that, there's slight concerns with what I can get away with taking into Europe, what I can't. 12 gauges, mag flashes, all of the other goodies, the lasers, and all the other bits and bobs that we play with, all the other spooky booky stuff. Because of that, I like having my toys, right?
Yeah.
So
it's a tough one.
Dave Madden, Spain. Yeah, that's that one is penciled in. Have you guys thought about doing a Patreon? What we bring in the new content. Me and Richie spoke about Patreon probably over a year ago. Very early days of the channel, when we were looking to do things like training, and we were looking to do days down at the quarry and so on and so forth. The issue with Patreon is justifying your content. The only people that I see do Patreon very, very well are girl gamers that will sit and play Twitch in a low cut top, and then their Patreon is for them like doing sets of like underwear or nude shots, because the customer's getting a value from the added content. I'm not sure what content, personally, I could bring to the channel that I would want to charge people for. Like, you're not going to want to see me doing a tuck in a little pair of, tighty whities.
Yeah.
If that is appealing to you, I will do it for money, but I can't justify Patreon for the type of content that I create personally, and that's just being honest.
No, I mean, personally, mate, I think if people want me to pay me privately for just so they can download my naked DJ sets, I mean, $20 is $20. Yeah.
I've never seen turntables, a mixer, and a unicorn all in the same room.
I mean, there's a lot of lower hit movement. I'm just with that kind of music. I'm just saying.
Looks like a purple road cone. Anyway.
With the rings on it.
So, moving on. I mean, yeah, Patreon. I just don't know what value I would want to bring in the content. I just don't see what's more. I just want to bring up Mike's content because, I attended some Legion events. I didn't get to all of them. I think I had some really fond memories of them. I also had some memories that I wasn't so fond of. We were open with Mike about all of that. But we obviously saw Legion as really taking leaps and bounds going forward. For me saying we wouldn't do it.
Right, okay.
Done up. We've got loads of dates at Longmore this year, just trying stuff before posting dates. Bricktack got bumped from Longmore because of priority taking the area, that's all. Okay, so that changes from the guess what I'd heard that, you guys were not doing anything more. So that's good to hear. So Mike, thank you so much for clearing that up. Obviously tells, we then have pushed this out to our audience as well, that people know. I know a lot of people that have this understanding that you've closed. That's why I wanted to know. So Mike,
because we've heard it from a couple of different people, haven't we?
Yeah, I got a message saying that Legion have shut up shop.
Yeah, so it's good. It's good to clear that up. To be fair, and put a line under that.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Nighttime tours is the only problem. Exactly. We had a normal break over Christmas, etc., and they're more quiet than normal during that period due to some serious health issues with my wife. But that's all. Nothing as drastic as closing, not yet. Anyway, all right, dude. Appreciate that. So thank you. So you will be doing Longmore this year, which is awesome. Right, thanks, bud. I genuinely appreciate us clearing that up. At least it stops the people from messaging me now saying that you guys are shut up shop. Longmore is getting busy with regular units. It's happening all over a lot of the MOD sites with a draw from Germany reg units. Need somewhere to train.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Guys, I'd pay you Patreon to see you in a crop top. Jamie, I'll do them later, bruv. I'm at home. I'm alone tonight, dude, in the house, so you'll get them later.
We'll DM that shit for
guys,
for
I'll
real.
pay Patreon to see you in a crop top. Grand Thumb has one. Yeah. I also think that Grand Thumb's appeal is very different to ours, and he's not a reviewer now. He's almost like an Instagram celebrity. And he also has a massive following of guys that he is training or training with. And I think there is an appeal to his content where people will pay for it because people want to see more of him because they know that he's an officer in a cool unit. That's my thoughts. So I think it works for some people. Like, I would pay a Patreon for Lucas if he was doing a Patreon about his business, about how he runs his business as him as an individual. I find him absolutely fascinating. It's gay, I know, and people fucking fanboy on him, but I find him fascinating of what he is able to do in regards of running a business, being very successful in regards of what he's doing with his products, as well as retailing other products and doing all of the training that he does. And then also the things like he's having a TV show done about him and his business and what they achieve and what they do and that sort of thing. I would like to see that. So I would pay for it. But in my case, don't say ours, I think Richie's content could be different and have an appeal to people where they'd want to pay to see how things are built or put together or whatever. But with me, I don't see value in it. Dave Manning question: Leatherman or Gerber?
Do you know what?
Leatherman.
See, I was, well, we all know I've had a sog for a little while and the things fell apart.
Yeah.
So definitely not sog. Looking at some of the new Leathermans, I can't think what. There was a couple we was looking at, but some of them are nice. They come in like
didn't we?
They come in a nice like coyote tan and black now, sort of like matte tan finish, which looks nice. So yeah, Leatherman, I think. I know.
I've got the Leatherman Mini, but the one I was looking at is this one that me and you looked at is this one.
Yes, that's the one, mate.
That's the one that we were looking at, wasn't it? Yes. So Leatherman. So unless you bath water, I don't bath, bruv. I'm a shower person.
I can see you with wet wipes.
Hair in the bath when I'm shaving myself. It'd be weird as hell.
It basically looks like a soggy shredded wheat.
We first heard about it was 4 days are sold out Battleston. Tim, have you looked into Carver skateboards? Yes, I actually have. I've got a friend. Weird. It always says that I've got a friend. I've got a mate of mine who's really into all the Carver skateboards. They do it on a hill near me. It's a really steep hill. It's steep as fuck. It goes from the cinema all the way down to the beach. Richie, you might know what I mean. And like, it's like steep. It's from the top of the cliff down to, and they go down there and they wear them metal hand pad things. And yeah, they do that stuff. Yeah, and he's like a giant as well. He's like 7 foot. Tim, have you? Yeah, recently bought one. Not surfing, really good. Been to a few Legion events. Mike does a great job of putting on a good show. Yeah. Hi guys, do you have any med rules for rifles before you have to engage using a secondary pistol? In New Zealand, we have a 10-15 meter rules before we have to switch to a pistol. No, we don't. You can use a pistol at any point, and I really like that because myself and Richie now have pimped up Glocks, and they shoot incredible distance and really flat. So there's no MED rules or anything. You can literally swap between your AG or your pistol at any time, and you can use your AG right up to point blank as well, which I think is great. So no, but very interesting. Whereabouts are you, without giving out any massive details, in New Zealand? I spent 6 months there, travelled all over the North Island, so be interested to see where you are.
Yeah, and obviously it'll be interesting to get a review done on these Glocks as well, because since we've got them back from Camo, mate, the distance on those, the way they're chucking out 3.2s is ridiculous, mate.
Either high exclusive for tabbing. James C, are they? God, I should put these questions up. Are the high X boots you've got good for tabbing in if you've got a hefty Bergen?
Yeah. So me personally, I'm going to say yeah. My GTX Black Eagles in U-Buck, mate, in the sort of the natural suede is awesome, mate. They seem a little bit stiff around the ankle than the lights.
Yeah, agreed. I've bounced all over the place with Richie. I wore him at the trees, carrying some decent weight in some very steep inclines, and they were perfect. So I would personally say yes. I am quite a light individual and quite light on my feet as well. So because of that, even with big Bergens on, I normally feel a little bit springy. So maybe need a little bit more weight, but they were really, really good. In my opinion, way better than my Solomons. So that's, I know, quite controversial in a lot of people's eyes, especially around the Solomons. People get very touchy when you say that there's anything better. And like Aku and Mammut and all the rest that are out there, it really does come down to preference and foot width, height, depth, arch, all those sorts of things. You're going to probably find a boot that suits your foot better. But for me, they're very, very good.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say, just going off of that comment, mate, is I've had Mammuts. I wouldn't have done something completely different. I had a Mammut and it was, if I'm honest with you, mate, it was comfy but terrible. The quality, mate, it lasted what, 4 months, if that, I think, before it lost its waterproof.
So I'm going to quickly skip through a few of these. Have you had any any law-related airsoft hiccup? No, never. Never had any problems with the law with any weapons or anything like that. So I think that's really good. Always, me and Richie, travel anywhere with all our guns boxed up or bagged up. They're never on show. They're always hidden away. We lock our, we've both run pellies. We've both run locked pellies as well. So, yeah. No, we haven't. Ryan Osborne, NVG2. I don't know. Probably a conversation after a few drinks with Richie as to how we would do it. Definitely would run it very, very different than last time, in my opinion. And obviously we didn't have the weather with us at all. It's one thing you can't predict, but the lads that were there on the night and the lads that stuck it out, I was super, super impressed with. They earned a big space in my heart, those guys that really stuck it out. So, Salt Jester, you boys, absolutely killed it. Love them guys. Considering I hadn't really spoke to many of them before, really, really impressed. Fucking good lads. Got a Bamboo Evolve board. It's epic, 20 mile an hour. How are you finding the Purst? Love the Purst. Fucking love the Purst. I started filming the review video the other day. It's pretty much done. Just needs to be edited up. The fact that you can adjust the brightness and the impact that has on the splash and the signature and also the trail and all that lot, it's for the money. If you're into your nods, I would advise you get one massively. Mike, take care, dude. Drop you a message regarding this rumour mill. No worries, bud. Appreciate it. Speak to you soon. Jamie, I know what you're going to ask me. Where can you find a Naruto's dual dovetail adapter in Europe? I spoke to my friend and he had one and got rid of it. Richie knows him, the night vision guy. And no, we haven't got it anywhere. Chris Wood's not going to be hacking down any hills at the moment. Don't want to break the other femur. Bad break femur, dude, as you probably know. So, speedy recovery. What's happened with Fleur? Don't know. What has happened with Fleur?
Don't know.
We don't know. We can reach out to people and ask, but give me some more context. Used my high ups from day one training until I left. Hefty but comfy, and they breathe well. Ed, agreed, mate. I thought they were great boots. Yeah. Jamie, lower for the win. You've got the weather for it. I want to get high ups, but have problems locating them locally. Not sure about sizing. Anyone to know? Patrol base.
Patrol base, yeah.
Patrol store. Shit, not patrol base. Don't go there. Patrol store. Shit, sorry. Yes, go and see Aaron there, and he will hook you up. Depends on the type of boot. I have two different types. One mountaineering, the other for Arctic conditions. Used to use Akko for tabbing and yomping. What Arctic? I guess it's when he's overseas, right? There ain't no Arctic shit in the UK, really. Altberg, Akko, Ultima. Yeah, again, you're going to get into a boot discussion. I'm not doing a boot discussion. Everyone likes their own fucking thing. Yeah. So asking someone what sort of woman they like.
I mean, a pulse is optional, right?
Dan, could you do me a favour? Because Jamie, Dan will hook you up. So message me and I will introduce you to guys like this and I will watch.
Boing, 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 boing.
I will introduce Dan and Jamie and then you guys can get it sorted. Discontinued civvy sales, Fleur, that is. They've discontinued all civvy sales from Fleur. Are you sure? They were making a mint out of the civvy market. Okay, that's big. Anyway, so a few things to wrap up on because we're a little bit over. People asking me about what my rant about on Facebook was all about, and I'll read the first post out to you because I've got nothing to hide. But the first post that I put up originally was this, and I will read it to you. It said, very excited for some new adventures and getting out into the wild with Richie, who is here beside me. This one. And I said, look at them follow. Since me and Richie have started putting content out, there's always been a quick stream of successors that have snapped content up that's very, very similar. And I've always let it slide. And fucking the people that are in here, Brooksy, Scout Recon, loads of the guys that have known me for a long period of time, Jamie and all the rest, know how many screenshots and conversation snippets and shit talking and fucking quiet private group chat screenshots that I get sent and all that shit, right? These guys have seen the amount I get sent, and I let so much of it just go because I can't be dealing with it. But what I wanted to say in this post is very, very true. And I said this: we've always kept a principle of doing what we love and being honest about it. We have ducked more offers than accepted, and that is 100% true. Even though some of those offers have been very good for us potentially, or even financially for us, they would have been very good. We avoided them because we didn't like the product enough, and it wasn't better than what we had. So we have tried very little to monetize our following. In the chance of monetizing some of our videos, it's impossible. 75% of the channel is demonetized. I can show you that if you guys are that interested in it. And you can see that if you've got any plugin on your browser. We do some apparel, and the apparel was more because we were asked to do apparel by people. We even done a woman's shirt because one woman wanted a shirt, so we put one on the store. I think we make a few pounds per item, and in the losses that we've had off of other products and buying products ourselves, like this hoodie, this THG and multicam black, it come out of the profit that we had. So we earned like 60 quid's worth of profit. So I mean, of all the original sales, me and Richie bought some hoodies. So other than that, we really don't monetize our following, whereas a lot of people capitalize on their following by, you know, buying their patches or buying stickers or associating with particular brands that their friends own, and then fucking they get kickbacks and all that shit. We haven't done it. We've done patches because people asked us to. That was 2 years ago. We've done a run of 25. They sold out, and to our word, we said we wouldn't do any more until, you know, the next batch comes around. You know, we could have done it a week later and capitalized on sales, but we chose not to. We're not here to monetize our audience. So what we're here to show you the shit that we like and enjoy using, not just what's sent to us in the post. We're not backing every product that we send. Some stuff we get sent we don't like. Some stuff we get sent we do like. We've got down to a good art now of being able to select stuff that we like and show it to people.
Because I think also there's been times where we've had or we've been working with people and companies for over a year. I'm going to say well over a year, right? The product that said, yeah, this is coming out, okay, and we've liked the product and we wanted to back it, but we've been working with this product and this manufacturer for nearly a year because we know it's worth waiting for. You know, there's other people going, try this. This is awesome. You can have 4 of these free or whatever. But we've not gone for it because the product it's just not as good as the one we know is worth waiting for, and we stuck to our guns and waiting for a product that we know is good and we can put our name to. So like you say, Tim, it's not just taking the first deal that's been put on our plate because we know we can get free stuff out of it. We'd rather wait and push out a product we know we can back.
And we saw a lot of people that product got offered to back it, not even fucking use it and back it about how good it is. Oh, this is really robust. It's super resilient. It does this, it does that. And they've never even thrown the fucking thing. Regardless, we stuck to our guns. We stayed with the product that we know and trust and we're both using and are, we're both facilitating in every game that we go to. So I said, finishing the post off, I said, so we'll be sticking to our path, watching people pivot to follow, images, tags, new brand style. We've been saying it but for years, our hashtag, you way back there, right? And so a few people messaged me and said, oh, is this about this person, or is this about this group, or is this about this fucking person? Look, I'm not here to pick on an individual in regards of, we feel like it's very easy to emulate on Instagram, but the accounts and the brands that me and Richie are really passionate about, and the people that we enjoy content from, are always the original ones. If you just go and fucking emulate what Dan Foo Fighter's doing, you'll get no respect from me, right? He has his own style, he has his own thing. You can see Dan Foo Fighter's content from a fucking mile off. Yep. If you just want to grow a beard and emulate Dan Foo Fighter, then I just don't find it enticing, because he's built a brand around this Viking, Norse beard, tattoos, very fucking operator, you know, very movie-like loadouts. They're not practical. You know, you don't see him running around for a whole fucking weekend with all the shit he's got on, but it looks cool as fuck, right? That's what he does. That's Dan, right? So if you just want to do the same thing as Dan, I just don't find it anywhere way as appealing. And me and Richard pulled a few people up over the fucking years, you know, and I'm not going to dig all of these up, but some company out there wanted to call themselves the Deviant Group or something like that. Remember, it come up, someone messaged me about it, and I was like, fucking hell, mate, like, put heresy into the fucking internet, and deviant genuinely is the fucking next word in the thesaurus. Yeah. Like, connected to heresy. I was like, fucking hell, mate, like, at least try. And so, you know, other than that, I haven't bit, but that a bit, and we had the conversation, and I'm so glad we did, because they came to a better place. It wasn't that far off, right? Still fairly close, but whatever.
Fairly close.
But it's fucking not as bad as the Deviant Group. And then I put the meme up about fucking Beefy and his new thing, right? We put a post up, like, I can't remember what it was. It was like December, I think, the 1st or something. And then December the 5th, he's got a fucking almost identical background, just whacked his logo in the middle of it. And I was like, fucking hell, bro. Like, you follow me, you've moaned to me about people copying your shit, and then you fucking do exactly the same with me. And like, you know, I like Beefy. Me and him have spoke about a lot of shit over the years. We've agreed on stuff, we've disagreed on stuff, whatever. But I saw that and was just like, fuck me, mate. Like, of all people, I wouldn't expect that from you. Do you know what I mean? Like, he fucking... Dag moaned about Rag making their fucking name similar to him. Dan done events. Then Dan Foo Fighter was going to do events, and Beefy done events, and Dan was going to do events, and then Beefy got the arsehole about it. I was like, mate, you know, and then to go and do that, it just fucking jarred me. It did grip me. I was just like, fuck, you know, of all people
I think what is also, mate,
streamline your flow.
As we've had it through the years, mate, it's not so much the copying, because, you know, I think, Tim, you've taught me many a time that the position we're in and just where our headspace is at, and how me and you brainstorm, you know, we're always going to be a couple of steps ahead of people. It's what we do. It's just what it is. It's not being big-headed. It's just what we do, mate. I think it's for what perhaps grips us, mate. It's just the time frame and how blatant it is. Like I say, with that Deviant Group, you know, I think it was maybe like a month later, if that, we done the whole rebrand, obviously, like from Random Trashy. You know, we spent, I'm saying, months, mate, thrashing out what we were going to call ourselves, you know, when I came on board. And I think within a month, they come up with the Deviant Group. And like you say, you even showed me, I remember, mate, I was on holiday and you sent me a photo of the fucking dictionary, mate. It was like, fucking heresy, deviant, you know what I mean? And again, like you said, it was like December the 30th or something, and it was like January the 5th. You just think, like, and we've had it with other stuff and other people in the past, lots of times, but it's just like people don't try anymore. They don't even try to hide it. I think that's the hard part.
Sorry, mate. I've got the post here. I put it up on the 30th of December, and I put this post up so people can see what I'm on about. So yeah. I put this post up, right? Like our logo, and then we like this black sea sort of fucking background, and then Beefy puts it up on the 5th, and it's this picture. So it's like very similar background, very similar style, and I was just like, fucking hell, mate, like, come on. And look, you know, Alex and loads of dad guys messaged me earlier and was like, oh, I don't want to get involved in the beef, and there's no fucking beef, mate. No, it's just fucking rinsing someone for the sake of rinsing someone, right? My thug patch THG, yeet. Yeah.
Funny you say that, mate. I was walking into the London Tattoo Convention a few years ago, and the guy went to search my bag, and I had the THG, and he's like, "What is thug? You're a thug?" I was like, "No, THG." And he's like, it took a good 5 minutes to try and explain. It was awkward, embarrassing, and yeah, let's not do that
Uggs for
again.
thugs, mate. Uggs for thugs.
After thugs, that's the one.
So look, look, we're lucky to be in a position where we've got a really cool following of people, and I think
Yeah,
people get us, and they get that there's a lot of banter and there's a lot of there's a lot of shit with us, and we have a good crack, and social media is always going to be a small pond, but at times I just feel like I just would be really like trying to do something in this day and age. Original is very hard, but I would be really, that would be my goal. That would be my fucking goal, is that if I was going to do something new, if me and Richie spun this all around tomorrow, flattened it, said we were going to do something that newer, I wouldn't go and call myself, fucking Blue Alpha Group, or the Action Group, or some shit like that that's so close to what someone else is
yeah,
doing that it's almost offensive to them. And especially people that are friends of mine. Like, I know Brooksy. Like, I've been hugged by Brooksy more times than I've been hugged by my fucking family. Like,
they're not. His
I
hugs are
fucking love
lovely,
that
mate.
guy.
They're really nice, nice and
Like
warm.
him, Sam, like all of them. I fucking love them. Like, they're good people. The last thing I'd do is insult him by going and do something that is literally like pissing in his pocket.
Yeah,
Because he's someone I know. Same as Beefy. Like, I wouldn't expect it from him. I wouldn't do something that's gonna sort of kind of almost mirror something he's doing just out of respect for the guy. So
yeah.
it is what it is.
But at the same time, mate, there's no, like I say, there's no problem, there's no beef there, mate. It's just
It's just
pointing out the
another
obvious.
person being unoriginal, right? That's all it is. Scambo saying, I got a message today. Scambo's not even part of the fucking team anymore. He binned them all off, and yet he's getting fucking message. Oh, yeah, it was Sam. All right, Billy was trying to take the fucking credit. But look, right, I just expected something different from him. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's not
Yeah.
getting waved
But,
at.
but I think the thing is, mate, is and it's also frustrating when me and you, I know we sat down and we spoke for, I'm going to say months, I mean, a good 2-3 months, thrashing out different words, different names. And there were so many times we came to the table with a name and we went, no, look, let's not do this because it's been done, or it's too close to this, or it's too close to that. We've definitely sort of steered away from more names than we headed towards, because we wanted to be original, we want to be at the other end of the spectrum to everyone else. We wanted to be original.
It still makes me fucking laugh every time.
It's, mate, when you see them on top like that, like one on top of the other. Wow.
Oh, mate, they're too close, right? They're too close. Even for my liking, is what it is. Look, and again, we for Sam to get messaged about it, for Scambo, sorry, to get messaged about it, and not even be part of the team, they're obviously flapping. It is what it is.
Yeah.
There's no hard feelings with any of them lads.
No.
It's a bit weak. And that's how it was described to me. Someone just said, it's a bit weak. And I totally fucking agree. I looked at it, thought about, and started producing media content lots of times. I end up thinking I can do better than others, and it's original. The answer is always no. Listen, I think that it is tough to go out and create media, but if you really want to do something original, you need to spend time doing it. Like, the shit that we do, the choices that we make, the avenues we go down are not, I sit at my computer and go, yeah, we're going to do this. It just doesn't happen like that. Me and Richie have, we have documents, we have Word documents. Me and him do like fucking idea. We do brainstorming. Me and him will have a conversation where we're talking about fucking other things that people are doing, and we take a little pinch of this, and we wanted like something, almost a bit Art Nouveau, something very clean, something very clinical, something that keeps like the dark nature of what the Heresy Group is, but also something really that we can sort of almost flex in any way we want. The branding and the colours that we use, We could put them on a vehicle. We could sponsor a fucking drift car. We could, do whatever with that branding. We do anything with it, and we wanted it to be that. But you don't get to that by just going, I've got an idea. It takes time. It takes time.
Yeah, definitely.
Scambo, upside down commando dagger. Is that what that is, Nick? Is that what that is?
Shush. Yeah, it's a Fairburn Sykes, mate. Yeah.
God knows. To me, it just looks like the Tarsal 67 logo. If anyone knows Tarsal 67, that's just what it looks like to me. I find it. But look, it is what it is. And, a lot of people have asked me about it. If anyone's got any problems, just message me. I'm not bothered by someone messaging me. I'm just finding the Tarsal 67 logo because it well looks like it. But it's, people are going to do their own shit, and whether they do something that looks like yours or doesn't look like yours, it is what it is. But I think I've got no real qualms with it. I'm going to try and find this fucking logo.
But I think if you're worried about copying someone, then don't, because it means you've thought about it hard enough to go, oh, that actually looks close to this. Then just don't do it. The minute you think that, stop.
Just stay away from it. I remember, I don't know if Airsoft Jack is still on it, but Airsoft Jack messaged me about YouTube, and he was like, I want to do YouTube reviews, and I was like, cool, do it. YouTube's great. It's a lot of fun, takes up a lot of energy. If you have spare time and you want to do something creative with your spare time, YouTube's fucking awesome. Like, would quite happily, if we've got 47 people in total watching, every single one of you wanted to go and do YouTube. Don't ever feel like it's going to fucking ever bother me. I love YouTube as a platform. All of you should go and do it. The one thing I said to him in a big sentence, fucking capitals, be original. Don't go and copy, every review format that you see. Do something with your own twist, your own flair. Make it about you and not a generic review video. That's all I ever fucking advised to him. And all he seemed to do was copy other people's shit. I like Jack, but that's all he seemed to do. Is someone would put a review up and he would just do exactly the same review in the same context, filmed the same way. It's fucked. And I was just like, you just kind of want to shake someone and be like, make it about you as an individual, feeding your personality, your thoughts. And that's what makes good content.
It's like I've had messages before, mate, on Insta and YouTube, basically saying, I don't even know who it was now, because I think I blocked the guy, but he basically got a message saying, hi, how do I, what was it? How can I be like you and Tim on YouTube? How can I get as big as you and Tim on YouTube? I was like, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to do airsoft? Do you want to do reviews? Do you want to do this? I don't know. I'm like, dude, then just find out, just figure it out, mate. Like the minute you just want to be famous, good.
I think we've lost Richie.
We're doing it because we enjoy the products and we enjoy playing airsoft, not because we want to be famous. We don't run an Instagram to be famous. We run an Instagram as a platform to push our YouTube videos. So this is where I think a lot of it comes down to. A lot of these guys on Insta, you do see guys and profiles that take pictures of their kit because they enjoy their kit. They love their kit. They've got the guns, they love the kit. They take pictures of it. But then, which is fine. But then you get people that use Instagram for no other reason than just they want to be famous. They want to get followers. And it's not, they don't want followers and only famous because they want X, Y, and Z. They just want followers, and it's just sad, mate. It's really, really sad.
Yeah, and I think this is, I guess, the side of social media that people don't see is that people are very protective over their content, especially when they put a lot of time into it and you put a lot of effort into it, and You know, you put a lot of effort into your videos, in the way that you create your videos, your intros, all that sort of shit takes so much time for someone to just roll along and be like, fuck, that looks good. Do you know what I mean? It feels like, you know, gutting. Now, if it was some randomer that I didn't know, or some, you know, like we've had people before that have downloaded our videos from the internet and loaded them onto their YouTube channel, you know, and stuff like that. Like that is like that takes the piss. But because I don't know the individual, it's not like individually I can be like, fucking hell, dude, that's rough. Like, but we've seen it with people that follow us, people that message us, people that talk to us, people that ask advice on kit. Oh, what do you think about this, mate? Yeah, it's really good. Then they get it and do a review of it exactly the same. You know, there's people that have gone into reviewing with the wrong outlook and they've made big mistakes. You know, said it's from a fucking different place, give incorrect details about the product, give incorrect pricing about the product, you know, not known any real granular detail about the product, how it works, its mechanics, the things that you would ask if you were fucking interested in it. They've just got it. Yeah, this is this, it does this, this, and this, and then boom, done. There's so much more to it. And I think when you see someone go into the scene of reviews and airsoft videos and all this other shit that people, you know, sort of plaster on, it becomes apparent very quickly what their aspirations are, whether they're there to provide information for people and to provide context and to give people in-depth information about something, and there's other people that just want pictures of kit so that they can say that they've got it, and the first thing you'll see on their profile is sponsored by, kit provided by, you know, and that's it. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I think the one that possibly drains me the most, mate, is when you see on someone's profile looking for sponsors. Like that, mate. That's the dregs, mate.
I fucking love Charlie so much.
Yeah, true.
I was on no social media until I started following you guys on YouTube. Then I joined Instagram because you guys, it's pretty much you guys that kept me on it. Dude, appreciate that. Tim, can I get a fat dude size hoodie in black on black? Yeah, we'll bring these to the store at some point. We've had these for a little while. We're gonna probably do some more stuff with apparel. Like I say, we earn literally pounds off of £2 or £3 off of the t-shirts and maybe £3 or £4 off the hoodies. But if people want them, we can do them. It doesn't cost us anything. We just put them on the store.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I need to bounce.
Right.
We need to wrap up. Thank you everyone for watching. Richie, any last words?
Not really. I'm just going to say, like you said earlier on, Tim, you're doing a surfing thing, I'm doing my overland thing. It's just more of a personal passion. As anyone who caught my intro video to overlanding will know, it's just something that I've wanted to do. So going from what you said in the comments and questions in here, I didn't realise it was going to take off so well. So I guess if anyone does want us to do like a Q&A kind of thing regarding the overland, feel free, do a Q&A or drop me a message or something, or perhaps I'll do a post and then let me know if there's anything you want me to cover, you know, and if I can cover it and incorporate it into that, I will do. Yeah, just try and give you guys a bit more of a insight into what's going to happen.
Yeah, Dan, if you're looking for MVG sponsor, Acting Black giveaway nods. So if you want to message them with dick pics, Acting Black will definitely send you some nods for dick pics. If they're creative, if you want to put a cocktail umbrella in the end, or any sort of decoration, AstroTurf, anything like that.
The more decoration, the better, mate. Yeah.
Acting Black will definitely give you free nods if you send them dick pics.
I've heard if you lay it that way and sprinkle bacon bits on top, that's the one.
Yeah. Put some trees behind it so it looks like a path.
Bacon bits and mustard. They call it the Yellow Brick Road.
762.
Oh my god. Sponsored by Weapon 762. Yeah,
that's
mate.
That's the first sign that you know someone's pictures are taken on the 3310. Don't crash the Jeep. Yes, do it, Richie, into wild camping and climbing way before airsoft. Yeah, guys. So what we'll do then, we'll set up some follow-up videos. Obviously, Richie will let you guys into what we're up to. Yes, Scambo, love, mate. Good to catch up with you. Good to catch up with all of you. Thank you very much for watching. We've had 54 concurrent watchers, which is pretty cool. I can't see the actual final data yet, but we have had some good views. Guys, if you could whack a like on the video, that'd be really, really cool. There's 46 people here, so if you just whack that like, there'd be lots and lots of love from us. Any questions, comments, drop us a note. Instagram or YouTube,
drop us a DM.
We're both on there a lot. And that's it.
Yeah.
We out?
Right. I'm going to go for a poo.
Right, Rich's going to go poo. I'm going to make tea. Good night, everyone. Please drop a like on the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all in a bit.
Ciao, Bella.